Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today, yes, we will be on the Eagle. Now, captains, before we get into this video, do us a favor, like it, and also subscribe here to YouTube Bridge, as we are always on the lookout for like-minded captains where we can share our love, of course, of Star Trek Online, but of course, things Star Trek. With that out of the way, here we go. Also, one more thing, captains, huge shout out to Clone87. Captain, thank you so much. He gifted us a tier 6 gift coupon, and I decided to use that to get this ship. So I'm dedicating this build, this video to you, sir. Again, thank you so much for your support on the YouTube Bridge. I highly appreciate it, and I am humbled. So, as I mentioned, captains, we will be on the Terran Eagle Pilot Raider. And yes, you can see there, I named it the ISS aft of the Audi, because it really is. Now, when we first started covering the whole Terran bundle, the 13th anniversary bundle, I was not necessarily going to pick this ship up, and that's because I never really had an attachment to the Aquarius. But with the canonization of the Audi now being a canon ship, well, this is the after the Audi. So really, if I have the Audi, I should have the Aquarius, because it is indeed now canon, albeit it's just in the aft, just like the name. Regardless, we now are actually glad we picked this up, and we have been having fun with this for the past week here, and we just came up and did the final sort of build here just moments before recording this video. So what we'll do is go over the build, of course, the weapons, space set, the consoles, the traits, stations, and doffs, and then take it into a Cure Advance and see how it does. So here we go. Again, it's the ISS aft of the Audi, the Terran Eagle Pilot Raider. So when we saw this, and of course when we got this from the C-Store, it did come with a full suite of quantum torpedoes. Also a very unique torpedo, the Quantum Phase. This is one of my favorite quantum torpedoes. It actually just sounds like a shotgun in space. Now, I did try to equip both, because I actually did get this during a mission, which you can get as well. And you can only equip the one. It's fine. And that mission, of course, if you go to your journal here and go episodes, future proof, it's right there, the sunrise. If you replay that, you can get the Quantum Phase torpedo, the Quantum Phase converter, and Quantum Phase beam array, and even dual heavy cannon. So it is actually a complete set. Sorry, Admiral Quinn. But again, it's a free torpedo, and yes, you do get it with this, but you cannot equip two of them. But that's okay. So the theme of this build is a couple of things going on. Obviously a torpedo build, but we're keeping it with the theme that it came with. So this is what I decided to do with the 4 weapons. So again here, first weapon up is the Quantum Phase torpedo. And the next one is the Dark Matter Quantum Torpedo Launcher. Of course, you can get this from your Disco rep. It does have a plus 2% bonus all damage, because I have my rep all the way up to tier 6. And it is a purple torpedo though. So this is sort of keeping also with quote-unquote canon, because on lower decks, ships now fire, at least the Texas class fires purple torpedoes. Another favorite of mine is the Wide Angle Quantum Torpedo Launcher. This comes from any version of the Sovereign in the C-Store and or the Legendary Bundle. And as you can see there, we did re-eng that. The next quantum torpedo up here is the Elite Fleet Janor Quantum Torpedo. Again, you can get this from your fleet colony, and the kind of proc on this, your weapon attacks cause enemy shields to receive 17% increased damage for 10 seconds. I'm just using it because, again, we're going for the quantum build, at least for the 4 weapons. And the last one to round it off is the Thoron Infused Quantum Torpedo. I had this in my inventory for the longest time, and I decided, you know what, since we're going to a full 4 quantum, this is what we're going to use. So again, we just re-rolled this to crit DM damage 4. I got this from one of the reputation boxes a long time ago when I was leveling up my Delta rep. So there you go. But it does have A proc of on hit, 10% chance only to unstable. They're on radiation for 5 seconds. But again, it's just a quantum that we're going for. Space set is what we got going on here. Nothing too different. The Elite Fleet Intervention Protomatter Deflector from, again, your fleet colony. The Prevailing Innovated Impulse Engines from your competition rep. And the Mycelial Harmonic Matter Antimatter Core and Telly's Review Pending Modified Shield from your Discovery rep. Now, the aft weapon, this is what we decided to do, is put a beam on it. Specifically, the Trilithium Enhanced Omnidirectional Phaser Beam, which is from the featured episode Nexus. It does actually give you a chance for more haste, but really it's just there for looks because I want to put this sort of phaser weapon at least on a Terran ship there. So that is indeed what it's there for, but also it is going to help us with the bridge officer seating, and you'll see in a bit, Caps. Now we are going to use the experimental weapon that comes with this, which is the subspace depth charge. So Tetrion damage and shield drain. So 135 degree targeting arc. So there you go, 4015.5 or 1003.9 DPS Tetrion damage increase with aux power instead of weapon power. Can be fired during enhanced battle cloak as though it were a projectile weapon. Devices, we only had 2 slots here, so we just went with our torpedo candy. 30% bonus projectile damage for 20 seconds. And the Kobayashi Maru transponder for its buff goodness. Onto the consoles. We're going to use the console that it comes with, so the Covert Warhead Module. So it does give a passive bonus of plus 28% projectile damage, sets shared torpedo recharge to 1.5 if it was longer, or to 0.5 seconds if equipped ship has pilot maneuvers, which this ship does. So cloak, fly by foes to bomb them after 3 seconds, 9,909 stealth, applies enhanced battle cloak for 15 seconds, can be used when cloaked. Current shield power set to 0, 150 defense rating, 4.5 flight speed, 15 flight turn rate during this time. Flying near each foe plants a bomb, then detonates at the end. Energy weapons offline, of course, but applies destruction of enemy defenses. And it's 17,510.3 kinetic damage plus 3.8 repel. That's a mouthful, but we're going to try to use this. I don't normally use cloak, but since we have this, we're going to do our best. And you can fire anyways under the cloak, so hopefully it won't deter too much, but it's here to have fun. That is the purpose of this. Carry on here, we have the binaural infusion circuits from your low-buy store for its flat out, of course, 26.2 crit severity, but it does give us a plus 29.5 starship hull capacity, which feeds into tidal duality, which gives us more crit. Next up here, of course, what is a Terran without a emulating phage lance? Mind you, I'm just putting this on everything really, almost. But it does give 15.8% phaser damage, but also 43.8 starship shield pen. This is the console that comes from the Deimos Pilot Destroyer, which you can get from your event campaign. This is our first one that we got there for the event campaign, and I don't regret it whatsoever. Next up, keeping with the, of course, theme of torpedoes, quantum torpedoes, even at that, we're going with the opening salvo, which is from the Titan in the Sea store. Now, this is one of my favorite consoles, Captains, you know this, but what it does also, on top of giving us 21.4 starship weapon specialization, which improves our critical hit chance with weapons, it also does give us an opening salvo of quantum torpedoes, which take down the shield. So it fires 4 salvos at up to 5 targets. 3,144.3 kinetic damage, but all again, knock target subsystems offline for 8.3 seconds. So that is critical for us to take the shields down so that we can just as much damage straight to hull as we can. And it looks pretty, just saying. So we're going to have a bunch of torpedo spreads on this, Caps. Next one is the multi-directional artillery barrage. This comes from your Smexy Lexi, or the Lexington Dreadnought from the 12th anniversary bundle, plus 20% all damage with projectile weapons. And again, helping us with our hull, plus 7.5% maximum hull capacity. multi-directional artillery barrage, 360 kinetic barrage damage scales with targets, launches warheads in all directions, dealing 13,093.5 kinetic damage to foes, plus 25% bonus damage per arc with foes, 10% additional bonus damage, Cat 2, per affected foe. So this, again, is going to look like just a torpedo spitting boat, which is what we want. Next up here, we are going to be using the Quantum Warhead module. This is from the Valiant, Tier 6 Valiant, plus 11.7% torpedo weapon damage. And of course, this thing, it's more of like a squiggly type firing quantum, but it's still a quantum nonetheless, said quantum, so I'm going to put it on this. Next up is the Tricobalt Tear Launcher. Now, it says Tricobalt, but it looks like a quantum. Just saying. Looks are more important. Space Barbie. Plus 19% mine and torpedo damage. 47.5 Starship Shield Pen. Of course, that helps us with our shield penetration. And it launches 5 ultra high yield Tricobalt warheads, and it just looks cool, and it also sounds cool, so we're using it. Of course, what Torp build is not complete with the Point Defense Bombardment Warhead, which comes from any version of your NX. 25% projectile damage, 1% critical chance, which is cute. We are pairing it up with this, the Dynamic Power Distributor Module, which comes from your Atlas, aka Prototype Dreadnought, with the 11.3 all damage resistance rating. It does give us a little help to our Omni Beam there, the lonely Omni Beam we have there in the app, 19% directed energy damage. But the two-piece with the warhead gives us plus 33% phaser damage for directed energy weapon. So not bad. It's going to help us. Again, this you can get for your event campaign if you so desire. It's a great OCRAP console because it also gives you bonus damage resistance rating. When you hit it for 20 seconds, you get 40% bonus damage while your hull is above 80%, plus 100 bonus damage resistance rating, plus 500% hull regen. So we're also going to use the Ordnance Accelerator because why not? It gives us plus 26.3 projectile weapon damage, plus 26.3 phaser directed energy damage. So it's helping two of our, mostly our torpedoes, but also that lonely beam we have at the back. And then we're going to use this little guy here, the Swarmer Matrix. This Ordnance Accelerator you get from your Gamma Rep. The Swarmer Matrix I just got off the exchange a long time ago when it first came out, but it gives you plus 30% turn speed, flight speed, and damage for your hangar pets and targetable torpedoes. Don't have that, but plus 50 projectile weapon training. So that helps. And we just put that on our spam bar so we can just launch that whenever we can. So stat-wise, that does give us crit chance of 34.4%, crit severity of 193.2%. Captains, I have my Pendevers helping me. I'm only at 600. I can go to 750, but I've chosen not to because just to show that it's not needed. It's nice to have, but it's not needed. Even when we go full meta, when we dabble in there, really, we do fine as well. So I don't think it's going to hurt me if I don't use it because it hasn't so far. So there is that. We're going to go to our skills here. So again, this is what we got going on. If you want to take a pause and look at that, Caps. But we have 8 in engineering, 10 in sci, 28 in tac. We have not changed this in years. And again, like I mentioned, it has served us pretty well. Don't need to actually do anything to mess with this because it helps all my builds that we use here on the bridge. Of course, specializations are intelligence and temporal op. Traits, this is kind of what we decided to do. Personal space traits, we got a good day to die. Adaptive offense, kinetic precision. We went into the breach this time, so killing enemy debuffs nearby enemies, resistances, which why not? Superior projectile training. Resonating payload modification. Unconventional systems. Terran targeting systems, intelligence agent attaché, and the Boimler effect. And this is what I did with the starship traits. And yes, I did not T6X the ship, because as I'd mentioned before, I like to try to do more with less. And with ships that I know that I'm not going to really come back to fairly often, I would rather not use that resource and use it on a ship that I do and would use more often. So I'm pretty happy with the base performance of any ship that comes to the Sea Store, so I just don't think it's required for the gameplay that I play. Captains, keep that in mind. I only do this because I make these builds, I do these experimental stuff here on the bridge. It's because I just make sure that I build it and synergize my ships to get to the content that we play here on the bridge. But this is what we decided to do. So we're going to use subspatial warheads, entwine tactical matrices for our back-to-back torpedo spreads. We're also going to use one of my favorite traits, Assault Formation Theta, which gives you an additional high yield 3 when you use Attack Pattern Alpha and or even Cloak. Universal Designs, and then we're going to use the trait that comes with this ship, which is called Stealth Torpedo Bomber. So using pilot maneuvers or being cloaked grants torpedo spread. This has an enhanced cloak on this ship. Right there, enhanced battle cloak. So yes, and then when you go to stations, you'll see. So each second cloaked one adds 1 stack of this for 45 seconds. Using a pilot maneuver adds 5 stacks for this for 45 seconds. When at 10 stacks, instead, this applies the torpedo spread 2 weapon firing mode for 30 seconds and clears the stacks. Stacks apply while torpedo spread 2 is ready, banking up to an additional 10. So not only will be using torpedo high yield 3, we're also going to be using back-to-back torp spread 1s with our ETM, entwined tactical matrices. We're also going to use Stealth Bomber, which is going to give us torpedo spread 2. So I envision this just spitting torpedoes for days, or at least for the TFO. So again, keeping with the theme of it, we use it, came with a ship, so let's see how it does. Next up here for the active space reputation, nothing too different. Or sorry, space reputation here. Mega kinetic shearing, nothing too different. Advanced targeting systems, torpedo pre-fire sequence, precision, and Tyler's duality. An active space rep here, we have anti-time entanglement singularity, biometric shield generator if we need to buy ourselves a couple seconds, deploy sensor interface platform, quantum singularity manipulation, and refactoring Tetron cascade. Stations, this is what we decided to do. So what I had on originally was the rapid emitting armaments trait for the to be combined with tractor beam, but I'm like, you know what, let's just change it up just a little bit. We still have tractor beam there because we can help our conventional systems proc. So it's still there. So left, right, top to bottom, tractor beam, scramble sensors, concentrate, fire, power 3. So again, we have this helping us too. We have concentrate firepower, high yield 3s, torp spread 2s and 1s. So this is a torpedo spitting ship. Chemosite lace weaponry, cannon scatter volley, and torpedo high yield 3. Again, the cannon scatter volley is there to trip ETM for our back-to-back torp spreads. Emergency power to engines, emit unstable warp bubble, jam targeting sensors, and this is what we did with the pilot seating. So we went fire at will, and here is our 2 pilot powers that we'll be using. So pilot team, reinforcement squadron, because I like calling in little fighters to help me, and attack pattern omega. Again, this is going to grant me a high yield 3 when I hit it, as long as I actually hit high yield first. So I'll hit high yield, and then omega, I have 2 torpedo high yield 3s ready to go. Can't beat that. So now we go to our dopes. So what we got, of course, is 2 on ground helping us in space. Neil Falconer will give us increased damage versus the Berg, while Elder Milikatan will give us increased damage versus all. And for our active space is what we decided to do. So a old school DOP that I haven't used in a while. I thought, you know what, let's just use it. A projectile weapons officer, chance to reduce the time to recharge torpedoes. And the other 2 projectile weapons officers give us a chance to stack crit severity when firing torpedoes. Emergency con holograph comm here, so it recharges evasive maneuvers when emergency powered engines is activated. And then we're using an energy weapons officer, chance to stack crit chance when we are firing our energy weapon, which is the lonely Omni Beam in the app. So there is the build. Again, captains, please keep in mind, we only do this because we just want to have fun. It is fun also to go full meta, but it's also fun just trying to see what else works and then seeing just what can come together and get you through the content. Again, like I said, we just do this for fun. We also build this because we know what content we go through each and every time here on the bridge. So let's go take this into a Cure Advance and see how it does. We'll private here. So again, we're going to go Cure Advance. Our goal here, we're going to go to the left cube first, the docking station there. We're going to also do cloak and use the console that comes with this to plant bombs, and you'll see the animation there. It kind of makes the target glow, so you'll see it. And then clear that as fast as possible, and then clear off the ships on the way to the right cube that are going towards the Kang. So we have to also keep in mind we have to keep the Kang protected. We don't want it to take any shots if possible, or to take minimal shots. Once we clear the right, clear any remaining targets, and then clear the center remaining cube, and then finish off the TFO. That's the plan. Let's see if we can do it without dying. And of course, let's have a little fun, shall we? And yes, Picard's with us. Why?
Engage.
All right, here we go. Here we go. That's put this here. Make sure that we cloak, and when we're close to the target is what we're going to do. Load up our torpedoes as we go here. We're going to apply it when we get close. See, we're still going to fire. There it is. It's glowing. Back up here. Uncloak. Use everything that we have at our disposal. Get rid of that. Go to these. Clear these ships going there. And this does have pilot maneuvers, so we're going to use them. Our advantage to move and zip across the map. Oh, look at that torpedo goodness. Yes. So the Kang just took one couple shots there, but we still will clear these other ones here. So look at that, just torps for days. How is that not cool? Very, very pleased with this build and how it's looking aesthetically. There you go. Let's move over here. Oh, still have these guys. Here, get my fighters there. Kang still at 100%. Just gotta clear them. Oh, this is a stubborn one over here. There we go. Jeez, that was stubborn. Use the stealth bomber thing again. Look at that, just torp goodness. Looks so good. Making sure the Kang's doing okay. Clear off these targets here. Loving the quantum theme here. This one is being stubborn again. over here. Why not clear its shield so it's much quicker? Okay, the Raptors there. The incoming Negvars. Still doing okay here. Kang's doing fine. It says still 100%, so I'm going to believe that. Get rid of that. Then we have this Hestering cube over here. There, here. Those were easier to clear than those Raptors. Let's take care of this. Let's go all out. Cloak. Plant. Back up. Back out of cloak. High yields. Get rid of these. We even planted a bomb there. Get rid of that. Another Raptor here. Okay. And there we go, captains. The Kang is okay. Her shield's held up. Still at 100%. I'll take that as a W. All right. Get out of here. You don't need to be here. So let's cloak here. Not normally a cloaking captain, but it is what it is. We'll buff up. Oh, we got out of cloak. That's fine. Torp goodness. Last sphere here, clear that out. And there you go. Woohoo! Celebration. There we have it. That is how she did. Excuse me, sir. Let's just go here and take a quick selfie. Happens if you don't know what that is, those are ship selfies, which we love doing. Especially here, the lighting here is always so good. So good. Now, I'm going to just show off the pilot maneuvers here as well, because it is a very cool animation. And the cells actually go back and retract while you do the pilot maneuver. So here we go. Kind of a cool feature. Thought that was really cool of them to add. But there you go. Let's get out of here. And then give our final thoughts on this ship. But it was a real fun ship. Like I said, I've been on it now for about a week, and just a very fun ship, especially for torpedo builds. And captains, you know, I love me some torpedo builds. So again, huge shout out to Clone87. Captain, thank you so much for the gifted tier 6 coupon. I appreciate it. I dedicate this build, this video to you, because of that I had no problems in getting this. So now that's the third ship that we have. Of course, our first one was the Hydra, the second one was the Monitor, and we're finishing it off with the Eagle. Now I know there's still the Sirius. I'm still not 100% sure about that ship. To be honest, I already have a Galax. I have the Legendary Galax, really. That's a 5-3, and it is a command. It'd be nice to have, but it is on the list. So we will keep it on the list, and if we get it eventually down the line, because there are other ships that we want to get before that, then we'll do a build video. But again, this is a fun ship. The 3 ships that I got so far from the 13th anniversary bundle, I highly recommend. Out of the 3, the surprising one there that I actually had even more fun is the Monitor. Yes, because it is a battle pancake, the Nebula, and now it comes with a hangar bay. And I never really got into the whole pet things, but because that we have the Valkyrie fighters now in game, it is pretty cool to have them, and just seeing a squadron of these fighters just firing cannon fire along with you firing torps, it just makes me smile. So of the 3, I'd have to say that is the surprising one. I would kind of still rank them as the Hydra, Monitor, and then the Eagle, even though the Eagle is performing very well. As you can see, it did really fine, and it has actually done pretty well too in Elite ISCs. I don't know what it did, but we all finished the missions, and that's what's important. Like I said, captains, this is always just for fun. And as long as you're building your builds to synergize with the content that you play through, then that is fine. So captains, there is the video. There's the build. Thank you again to Clone87. Thank you so much. So do us a favor, captains, like the video, comment below, let us know if you got the ship and what you did with it. And of course, subscribe here to the YouTube bridge. And we will leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.